What's up guys, TechSmart here, and I did promise you this video, and man do we have a lot to talk about. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be that much because I thought Apple stopped the leakers, and I mean they did, but there just seems to be a lot already going on. But it's gonna take some time right now, but we do have a lot to talk about, so let's get into the video. We already knew this before. We already knew that there's gonna be 3 new iPhones this year. We knew that there was gonna be a 5.8-inch display one. We knew that there was gonna be a budget model, which was gonna be rumored to be 6.1-inch display, and finally the 10 Plus, which was rumored to be 6.5 monstrous inch for a phone. Wow. I mean, like, just to me, like, the iPhone 8 Plus, it looks massive. I cannot imagine that, like, I don't know. It's just not gonna, I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind after seeing it. I mean, who knows? But this is just too big. Anyway, but I am very excited for them. There hasn't been, like, concrete words on what they're gonna be called. Like, we already know that they're canceling this year's iPhone 10. I mean, not this year, but like the last year's iPhone 10, because they don't want to, confuse it with this year's iPhone 10, and that it makes me think maybe they're gonna still call it the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 10 Plus, since they're literally gonna remove the old iPhone 10, if that makes sense. Like, so that's maybe why they're removing it. But what I'm very curious is, what are they gonna name the 6.1-inch? Like, the iPhone 9? I mean, I don't think they're gonna go back to an iPhone 9. Maybe just the iPhone 6.1-inch, or just iPhone, or I don't know. I'm not really sure. However, we know so many things other about the naming for this phone that it's just ridiculous. In terms of display, the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 10 Plus, or in this case the 5.8 and the 6.5 inches, are gonna be OLED displays, but the 6.1 are gonna be LCD, but it will still have the cutout notch. I mean, sure, like, I know it's gonna take some getting used to and all. Some people, I know for sure, they're just gonna miss the home button, but eventually they're gonna get over it because of, it's gonna be a trend and everybody's gonna have it, and nobody says no to more display. I mean, especially to a phone that's not necessarily big in size, that's impossible to hold, like the iPhone 8 Plus. So when that's the cool things about it. I remember when the Galaxy S8 came out, that was really cool because you had all this display in this really small screen, and you were still able to hold with your, like, only what you can only use with your one hand if you want. I mean, it was still very doable. I mean, yeah, they had the edge display, but I mean, it was still pretty compact phone. And this is what the iPhone 10, the lineup is gonna be. Not so sure about the 10 Plus, or the 6.5-inch one. But this is what we know about the displays. We might also see a little bit more pixel per inch density, because they really haven't been good with that. I mean, it's been staying at HD, and while Galaxy's been having the QHD for a while. I mean, there's big difference still. But moving on, in terms of material, the 5.8 and the 6.5 are gonna be stainless steel, a little bit more premium because obviously it's not budget. The 6.1-inch is not gonna be as premium. It's just gonna be the same thing, aluminum 7000. It's really not a big deal anymore with the aluminum. Why? Because they have now the back with glass back that gives it so much durability when it comes to like bending and stuff in your pocket. So I'm sure it's gonna be okay. It's for sure gonna be okay. And in terms of the 6.1 inch, you actually will be able to get that in color. So according to the person that we all know, Minshiko, he said that there might be 4 new colors. There's gonna be gray, white, red, and orange. I'm not sure if there's gonna be blue in there or not, but like these are the rumored colors. I mean, he did also mention that they're also, you know, trying out new colors with the phones. It really depends on, I don't know, manufacturer stuff or whatever feels like most simplified to them. And no, I don't believe that the red one will mean its product red, because usually the product red has a release dates like around March, so it would only make sense that it's kind of like a very light red, like what happened on the 5C. And yes, this does take inspiration from the iPhone 5C. I'm sure you guys are saying like, yeah, it does, but at the same time, there wasn't class bag back then. I mean, now it's so convenient because all models will have the wireless charging, and I'm very excited for that, because I'm done with plugging in cables, you know? Like, it's nice and convenient. You place your phone onto, you know, whatever surface you find. I mean, like, of course, or a charger, and it works. I mean, that's not a bad, you know, it's not a bad feature at all. And I'm sure once you use it, like, I'm sure some of you are like, oh, it's really not a big deal with the wireless charging, but I'm sure once you guys start using a wireless charger, you will not go back to just like plugging in stuff. I mean, I'm sure not everybody got an experience yet, because some people are still with the 7 and 6S Plus, but you know, it's much more convenient to place it. I mean, I'm not gonna really talk how fast it is. I mean, it really depends on the charger that you get for the speed and stuff, but you know, it's much more convenient. Like, place your phone on the surface and it charges. How easy is that? I mean, it is so easy on the Apple Watch. I cannot even tell you. Like, I don't even think about it. Put it and just to forget about it. Okay, we don't know yet about the whole fast charging thing with the iPhones, because they were first rumored to come with a different fast charger cable in the box or whatever, but there hasn't really been like a lot of people or a lot of leaks confirming that, but you know, it still might happen. It really still might happen. So in terms of security, there's gonna be all Face ID, and we all know that because Apple released a statement a while back. I think it was like earlier this year, like around February, March, and they were saying how they are done with Touch ID and they will not look back on it anymore, because Face ID is gonna be like the future kind of, and it is much more reliable, so like, why not? And they were actually rumored to come on this year's iPad, so I'm very excited for that, because obviously, you know, why not? Like, something that's so futuristic, and it's not even just face unlock, it's actually 3D mapping your face, so you know, it's pretty cool. And I don't think you're really gonna complain on the Face ID, and it's even rumored to be a little bit faster than the current iPhone 10. They're all gonna have the Apple's A12 chip, which we know is just gonna be unbeatable for any other phones right now. It's supposed to go, I think, to 7nm structure. I don't even know how they're gonna do that. Like, it's just, they were 10nm last year. What happened? So yeah, and that's gonna help the GPU as well. In terms of RAM, the iPhone 5.8 inch and the 6.5 are gonna have 4 gigabytes of RAM, while the 6.1 budget and model, and I'll get to that in a second, will have 3 gigabytes of RAM, which is plenty, which is basically what the iPhone 10 has right now, the current one. So the current iPhone 10 has been pretty quickly, and it saves a lot of the work that you've done before, and it doesn't clear it out. So there's nothing to worry about at all in terms of RAM. What I meant earlier by budget phone is it's really not a budget phone like the iPhone SE. Why? Because the pricing is rumored to be at $700, the base model iPhone, which is gonna be the 6.1 inch. I mean, $700 is still pretty expensive. I mean, yeah, it's the same like price as the iPhone 8 and all, but like, it's still like it's still pretty expensive compared to other phone companies that they also do literally the same thing, have the same display, even bigger in some cases. Like for example, the OnePlus 5 and the Huawei Pro. So like, I mean, it's pretty expensive, right? I mean, I want you guys to tell me what you think. It's pretty expensive, and that's just like the base model. That's just nothing else. That's just the lowest you can get for this year's iPhones. And of course, for the iPhone SE, I think it will still be there. It won't really go. In terms of display technology like 3D touch, I think the 6.1 inch might not get the 3D touch. But at the same time, I mean, like, you're still spending $700, which was worth the base model of the iPhone 8. So and the iPhone 8 did have the 3D touch. So it is rumored to not happen, but personally I think it will still happen, as like there's really no reason to remove it, because you're still spending the same amount of money as if you were paying for an iPhone 8. And other key points like the pricing for the 5.8 inch and the 6.5 in order to happen are like still pretty expensive. So the iPhone 5.8 inch, which is kind of like the current iPhone 10, is rumored to happen at $800 to $900. That's the range. The iPhone 10 Plus or the 6.5 inch, it will be exactly $1,000, the base model. So it's kind of like, if you want to actually spend $1,000 to get an iPhone 10, you can now spend it just on the iPhone 10 Plus if you want, even. Now, some of you might ask, should then I buy the iPhone 10, the current one that's out right now, after the new lineup gets released? And no, because you're just like literally throwing money for a year-old phone when you can get one that's currently the same and cheaper with better technology. So it doesn't make sense, and not the point anyway, because you won't be able to. They will be discontinued from the market. The current ones are not going to be there after the new one releases. That's why they might call it also the iPhone 10. So it would be confusing going to the seller and be like, oh, can I get an iPhone 10? And then they would be like, this year's iPhone 10? Last year's iPhone 10? Like, which one? So it could be very, very confusing when you're a retailer, and then it just doesn't make sense. It should only make sense if you remove the old one. I mean, the old one that's pretty successful, like for a first year product. So it's just they had to get rid of it, so that you don't get confused with the other lineup. Anyway, so guys, that's most of what we know about this year's lineup of iPhones. So I will upload a video soon on what's gonna happen at the event, so just stay tuned, and hopefully all that we talked about does happen. I'm very excited, and that's so cool that everybody who will own an iPhone now will have that really nice big display to do more on it without necessarily having the phone too big. So I just want to also recap that these are all rumors. Nothing is set stone. There's nothing for sure it's gonna happen, okay? Because Apple does surprises here and there, so don't get all of your high hopes up, okay? And also I wanted to say that all these concepts, they're not done by me, they're done by very, very good concept creators. Giving shout to all of them, honestly. Without them, it just would be hard to kind of predict and imagine what the new iPhones will be like. So thank you guys so much. You're making this much easier on us. So stay tuned, guys, and I'm looking forward to this. Thank you.